Good evening. The Board of Zoning Appeals meeting for August 14th, 2019 is now in session. I would like to introduce the board. To my far left is Jim Rowe and Todd Goling. I'm Ivan Valentic. To my right is Chris Jarrell and Blair Hamilton. And to our far right is Heather Freeman, our Township Zoning Inspector. Under the advice of our legal counsel, we ask that anyone speaking tonight must be sworn in if you plan on speaking, and even if you don't, but please stand up right now and raise your right hand. If there's any chance you're going to speak tonight. All right? You got everyone? We got a lot of people tonight. All right. Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? If so, so help me God. If so, say I do. Thank you. Please be seated. This evening, when presenting your case and commenting, you got to come to the microphone, state your name and address, and confirm that you've been sworn in for the record, okay? Heather, were the legal notices published in a timely manner?
Yes, they were.
Great. All right, we have two appeals from old business to discuss, and really quickly, and then we have two appeals from new business, okay? A 3-vote majority is required to either approve or deny appeal. If a request is denied, you have the right to file an appeal. Okay, first we are going to start with old business. Appeal number 2018-41, Mr. Randy Viviani of 7757 Concord LLC requests an administrative appeal from the determination by the zoning inspector that a zoning permit and certificate of zoning compliance are required for a new business to occupy a vacant commercial building pursuant to sections 11.01 and 12.01 of the Concord Township Zoning Resolution for the property located at 7757 Auburn Road, Unit 12, currently known as permanent parcel number 08-A-020-0-000-0366-0. And Mr. Viviani has requested that this appeal continue to be tabled, correct?
Correct. We did receive correspondence from Mr. Viviani's attorney requesting that we keep it tabled and continue
Okay.
to next month.
Okay, so that will be tabled till next month. Okay, we do have another variance. Do we have to open this up, reopen this, Heather? The next one from old business? Or we good to just kind of get into it?
I would
Just read it?
restate the
Okay.
variance application.
The next old business is variance number 2019-47. Mr. Michael de Blasio is requesting a variance from section 15.03A, table 15.03-1 to allow for the construction of a second accessory building in lieu of the maximum one permitted for the property located at 10215 Bryan Drive. Second variance is requested from section 15.03A, table 15.03-1 to allow an accessory building to be 1,350 square feet in lieu of the maximum 1,024 square feet permitted. Please come up and state your case. How are you? These all the same. We'll pass them around. You.
I'm Mike de Blasio. This is my wife, Roseanne de Blasio.
Hello.
Hi, you've been sworn in? Yep. Yes.
We did.
Yep, okay. And your address for the record?
10215 Bryan Drive.
Okay. All right, we're back. So you want to go ahead and update us on what's happened since last month?
I've still got my mind on this 40 by 30 garage, pole barn, or whatever you want to call it, because I do have 4 cars that got to go in there, and I got tractors, and I got golf cart and all that. So anything smaller, I'm gonna have to leave stuff outside, and hopefully you look at it. My, you know, what I have to do with it.
Okay. So again, there's two variance requests here. One is to allow for secondary building, and one is to allow for, the square foot. The 1,350, you want the same, you wanna keep that square footage, that's what you're going after. Okay. All right. Does anyone else have any other questions?
So I guess to be clear that really nothing's changed from the last request in terms of square footage or the number of buildings. It's still 2 buildings and it's still square footage in excess of
Well,
the
see,
building.
when I bought this house, this shed was already back there. And it's not a cheap shed. And when I bought the property next door to me, that was supposed to be for this, so I know it's all combined now. But I don't see why she can't have her she shed and I can have my garage. I mean, if I build a smaller one, it's gonna suit you, but it ain't gonna suit me.
If you would come to our yard now, visit our yard, our home, it looks like a car lot. And that's just what we own. I don't like living like that with cars all over. They need to be housed in a barn like we live in a house. And to me, like I said the first time, we want everything to look nice and neat and kind of like attractive. I'm not comparing my yard or home to someone else, but taking a ride around Concord, I'm glad I live where I live. But we have to house these things we have, and we've already sold cars already because we're into old cars, and that's just the way our hobby is.
Where'd you get this picture?
Where, from, this one, I think it's from Rhino Garages.
Oh, so did you just,
This is.
you didn't get it from your builder or?
No.
Okay, so you'll have an opportunity to speak.
I'm their son,
We've got several neighbors here too.
I printed the picture for them.
Yeah, give us a second.
You're gonna have to hire yourself to do this.
How big is the one in the back again?
Which one?
The one that's already there.
She said,
You know what,
I'd have to look at the house,
probably,
It's
online.
192 square feet. Okay. The existing.
Yeah, it's 192 square feet.
And I do have a question, Mr. Chairman, can you clarify? Under the zoning permit application that we denied was a 45 by 30 building, being 1,350 square feet. And I think I heard him say 40 by 30 tonight, which would only be 1,200 square feet. So we need to figure out we can clarify what the request is.
Yeah, because I'm going back to my notes. Yeah, we had a 30 by 45 last time.
right, last time, but if you deny that,
Well, we didn't deny, we didn't vote on it, but
Okay.
it's excessive, it's over the allowed square footage. So are you going after that's what we're trying to confirm. Is it the
50?
1350 or is it something smaller?
here's what, I would, if I can't get this, if I can get a 30 by 40,
So are you asking for the 1,200 or are you asking for the 1,350?
that's, I'm asking for the bigger,
The 1,350.
right.
Because, just so we're all, because if it was the smaller one, he would not need a variance, correct?
You would still need it.
No, he'd still need
Still
it.
need it, wait.
Just a little less
Well, yeah.
variance.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Is that 30%? 30?
Well, it's
32.
25% now.
It's like 30%.
The 1200.
No,
Oh,
the
1350 over 1,024. 326 divided by 1,024 is 30% essentially. A little over.
Yeah.
Is that the same thing? Okay.
So you didn't, do you know who's gonna build it? You didn't get any, you haven't hired anybody yet, or?
No. I got a couple people on the line, but haven't given me a price yet.
And tell us again how the driveway is gonna work?
Driveway's gonna come off in cul-de-sac and to the barn, to the garage.
There's gonna be, are you gonna pull into your driveway?
No,
And
it's gonna be on the sideline.
it's gonna be right here?
Right.
So it's a separate drive?
Yes,
And have you talked to your neighbors?
yes I have.
And,
There's a few of them.
They're here.
back.
and everybody's in support?
Yes.
You guys have any questions? We've kind of been through this one.
No. Can I see the? Hold it.
He's proposing to put it there.
Where's the she shed?
Has he seen this? Has he seen this?
So she said just like a little 12 by 16 barn?
Yeah.
Like she shed?
Right.
Yeah.
I
It's
don't
so
know
cute.
Exactly. I don't know exactly the size of it. It's small. It's not that big.
So, guys, we're looking at two variances. One, allowing two buildings, okay? We can discuss that. And the other one, which I think the board got a little bit more hung up on last time, and that's why they're back, was that square footage for that second structure is more, it's like roughly 30% more
Right.
increase in
What's
the
the acreage?
variance. The lot was, we looked at that too, what was it, 1.2 acres, if I'm remembering?
1.137.
1.137. So it's not close, very close to the larger lot that does allow
2 acres.
2 acres.
2 acres, yeah.
Yeah. It's not. Larry, do you have any questions?
No.
No.
Not right now, no.
No. Okay, you can be seated. Thank you. Is there anyone else that's speaking for or against this appeal that would like to come up? Now's your chance. Come on up.
Thomas Witt, 10226 Bryant, been there for 40 years. Moved into Concord Township because it's a township, not a city. Felt over the years the township have worked with the residents quite well. And
Excuse me, sir, you've been sworn in?
yes,
Okay, thank you.
yeah, and there are several neighbors here who are all in support of what he's doing.
Where's your house?
I'm at 10226.
Could you?
I'm across the street.
You're across the
Across the
street,
street.
So
okay.
you're, so like if you, as far as the cul-de-sac goes, where are you?
I'm this drive, I think.
Okay.
Or no, I'm actually, I think this drive right here.
Gotcha. Okay.
Thank you.
sir.
Yeah, I'm Ken Stevie. I'm right on the cul-de-sac, 10206 Bryan. I had that property that they have, and I gave it to them. And I don't see any problem why they can't put the barn on. I mean, we're in the cul-de-sac. There's nobody around there, and it's not an eyesore. I'm the one that's going to look at it.
Okay.
So I mean,
And you've been sworn in, sir?
pardon?
You've been sworn in?
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Sir?
Sir? Sir?
Yeah.
Last name for the record. Your last name for the record.
Steven.
Stebeck.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, is there anyone else that wants to come up?
I've been sworn in. My name is Terrence McCrudden, and I live across the street. and
What's your address?
10248 Bryan Drive.
Okay.
So we're like all right there. I do not have a problem with that at all.
Okay.
I mean, no problem. It's not, you know, it's more of an eyesore the other way, you know, all the cars. I mean, it's not going to hurt anything, you know.
Okay.
So, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Michael de Blasio. I'm Mike and Roseanne's son. I've been sworn in.
What's your address, sir?
My address, 2253 Sunset Drive, Wickliffe, Ohio. I'm living with my parents right now. We moved down to Willoughby Hills a few months ago and helped them get everything over there. But there's a trailer sitting on Ken's property right now full of my dad's stuff from the other barn. And I just know they got a lot of stuff, and I helped them sell a few cars. But I know my dad doesn't like stuff laying around, and when he worked with City of Willoughby Hills back in 1996, his old barn collapsed. We had a heavy snow back then, and I know he worked with the city to get a variance, you know, to accommodate what he had, and you know, he worked with them, and you know, they pretty much explained to him what he could have, and then, you know, they worked with him and helped him to get what he needed. And so I just know, for me, living with them, they want to have something to accommodate what they have left from the move. And I know he's got a few cars sitting outside, and I'm not going to be living with them forever, but you know, I know my parents want to adjust and be able to put their stuff. You know, he's got a tractor, he's got a riding lawnmower, and he's got a few old cars. So, you know, I'm there to just assist and help them settle in. But I know that they love the area. I love the area. Tax is a little high for me, but you know, I know they want to adjust and settle in here, and you know, just continue living the way they were in Willoughby Hills, but in a ranch now. So, thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Anyone else here to speak for or against this appeal? You guys have any other questions before we close this up?
No.
No. Okay. If there's no one else speaking for or against this appeal, the public hearing for variance number 2019-47 is now closed to the public. I will entertain a motion to approve variance 2019-47.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Open for discussion. I don't know who wants to start.
Well, there's a lot of cars out there, and I think that what the neighbors, how they feel about it is very important. I think that they would prefer to see a nice building and everything put away. And I know that it's a seemingly substantial variance at 30%, but it is on a cul-de-sac, it is a bigger property, and I personally, based on what we've heard and what we've seen and what we know, I don't have a problem with it.
Are we voting first on a second building?
We're gonna vote on both of them. We'll separate them.
Okay.
I mean, I guess, do you have anything to add about the two buildings?
I mean, the one is way in the back, and you know, again, it's on the cul-de-sac. Probably folks can hardly see the one in the back, and this one is probably going to even block that even more. So no, I don't have a problem with it, with either variance request.
Jen, did you want to add anything?
No, as I say, I just wanted,
Yeah.
when we jump to the size of the second one, no other comments.
My comment would be, I mean, it is, as you noted, a substantial variance. The acreage is nowhere near what's required to support the building. And I haven't heard anything new since the last time when we discussed this.
I guess the only new information that I heard, Blair, that I think we gotta take into account is that there's support this time for it.
And that's
Right.
fine, but the zoning exists regardless of the neighbor. The neighbors change. The next neighbor that comes in may not like this.
They,
So,
I doubt they're gonna wanna look at
No.
a bunch of cars sitting out there either. And that's why we have this board to approve and disapprove variance requests. And they are all on an individual basis, and I think given the location of the property, the support of the neighbors, I wouldn't wanna look at a bunch of cars sitting out, that's for doggone sure. So.
They're nice cars.
and
I
I will
still
say, and
wanna look at
there
it.
are storage options besides keeping them on your property.
This is the property that they bought, and even though, you know, they didn't know that they were going to want to do this when they moved in, and didn't, you know, they're not going to check for zoning restrictions if they don't know that something is going to materialize later. I don't have a problem with it. This is, it has idiosyncrasies that I think support the request.
The she shed building, is that a permanent structure? Is it
Yeah.
on a slab?
I'm not sure if we talked to that last
Mr.
time.
Blasio, do you know if that's
Can we?
does
we
it have a
can't-
cement floor?
He can't answer.
Like that? Okay.
Nothing close to,
Um,
I don't know if that really matters a whole lot. What are you thinking if it is or if it's not?
well,
Do we
because-
really want to ask them to remove a building that,
Well, I don't know where he's going with this. What-
Yeah.
Well, no,
what's the-
because
sorry.
if it's set, I had a barn built on my property that is sitting on pavers. It's not considered a permanent structure. So if that's a situation there, then it changes the situation here a little bit.
Right.
Not size-wise, but as far as the number of buildings.
It's still a structure.
Hmm.
It doesn't, I don't think it matters what it's.
It looks like a structure, and it's really
Yeah, I
not a
think it's still
structure.
considered a
It's
structure.
a structure.
Heather, do you know?
Doesn't-
I don't know, I know that it was several $1,000s from the estimated value of that shed, but as far as the zoning interpretation, whether or not it's
Oh, there's
permanent,
a lot of
permanent
them
foundation, that's, I'm doing.
Are not necessarily on a slab, they're still.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, again, what I think what Chris said, the two structures, I can vote comfortably a yes on the two structures.
Mhm.
One's hidden, it's in the back, it's kind of tucked in, it's landscaped. So I feel fairly comfortable about that one. The one that I guess what Blair brought up is the size of the second structure. You know,
Right.
he does have a lot of stuff that he needs to fit in there. Is that enough to?
You kind of have to keep your acquisitions somewhat within, you know, I mean, we've had these before with, there was one on, that became a car collector in a half-acre lot, and they wanted a 5-car garage in the backyard. I mean, it's just,
Would you feel more comfortable if it was 1,200 feet? I mean, there really isn't a great deal of difference between the two requests.
Yeah.
One's about a little under 20 and one's a little over 30. It's, I mean, really on a, you know, looking at it linearly and, you know, the area of it, it really doesn't make that big of a deal.
no, I don't think it's not the point. I mean, you know, 12 or 13, 15. It's more points than that.
I mean, I do agree with Chris that it's probably better if all this stuff could kind of get tucked away
Mhm.
and put away. But I do understand neighbors change and somebody might not like it, but then they're making a decision, I guess, if they do want to look at that garage or be in the same neighborhood of the garage. It doesn't affect that many people being at the cul-de-sac either.
Would you approve a second structure if it was if it was 1,024?
Probably.
You
But
would
that's
be
not-
okay with
Yeah,
that?
that's not what's in front of us.
So if one fits 4 cars and the one that you would approve would only fit 3 cars, then they have to go and find a location for that 4th car if they want to keep that possession. So, you know, then we're asking them to take on a financial burden on a monthly basis when it's not that big of a difference. I mean, let's be honest about it.
Yeah, it's 300 square
You're
feet.
50 square feet.
Well,
Size.
you're
When you start out-
you're asking a lot for them to take on, probably.
Well, you have a variance compounded by another variance. I mean, basically, you're allowed one building on that size lot. So now, to leap to it, now you have to allow 2 buildings. And I don't know, I have a problem. It's just, you know, it's just, why did we set up these parameters, you know, and then it's just a case of, I mean,
Everything is in black and white.
true, but, you know, it's just, you have to kind of acquire and live somewhat, you know, to a degree. And I say I just think it's a problem upon a problem, so.
Okay.
Is it really a problem?
Well, it's not within zoning.
That's why people ask for variances.
Well, you know.
If it was set in stone and we made everybody comply,
Yeah,
you know, to the letter of the law, we wouldn't be
Yeah,
here.
but most variances are based on a little of this or a little of that. I mean, that's onward and upward.
It's their property, it's, you know, it's over an acre. I know it's not 2 acres. The neighbors don't have any issues with it at all.
That's-
That other one is tucked way in the back.
That's good neighboring, but it's not a good basis.
Are you running a community or a business?
So, Todd, what are you thinking?
I'm looking at the building just on the other side of the swale here. If this is about the size, I mean, I like that, you know, they've a 3-car garage, it looks like already, and we want to put all the other stuff in there, make it nice and neat and tidy in there. This little one in the back here, the shed, I mean, I find it hard to even consider that. It's more the size of this one, because now if this guy says you did 1350 over here, I want to do a 1500 one right here because you allowed it. But granted, he's now only got 1 on there, so I guess if we handle it first, do we allow the second, and then second the size of the second?
Well, we're gonna vote on it, we're gonna separate them. So first, we're gonna vote, allow for secondary building. I mean, if that gets approved, he could come back without a variance and build a building of 1,024 square feet,
Okay.
Right.
right?
I
But
mean,
if we don't approve that, then he can't even build that second smaller building. And then-
I'd rather have, you know, all of the items in the shed tucked away safely, neatly, because I feel that would be more of an eyesore to have implements, cars, tools outside scattered around the property than maybe a shed that has, I would say, probably something more of a larger industrial sized appearance. However, everything's in it. So, you know, it's a little torn about the size there, but I like the intent, and I'd probably want to go larger myself if I were to do it. But then on the other hand, you know, I'm torn with, we have the rules for a reason, but they aren't set in stone. So it'd be different. I feel differently if there were some naysayers here as well.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Well, anything else? No? Okay, well, man, okay, well, if there's no more discussion, what we're gonna do is we're gonna call a vote. We're gonna separate them. We're gonna have the first one will be on the secondary structure. The second one then we'll call a vote for the variance on the square footage. Okay? So first, it's on approval of variance number 2019-47. Mr. Michael de Blasio is requesting a variance from section 15.03A, table 15.03-1 to allow for a construction of a second accessory building in lieu of the maximum of one building permitted on the property located at 10215 Bryan Drive. Heather, please call the vote.
Mr. Hamilton?
Yes.
Ms. Gerald?
Yes.
Mr. Rowe?
Yes.
Mr. Golding?
Yes.
Mr. Valente?
Yes. The secondary building, allowing two secondary buildings has been approved. Next is a vote for the same variance, 2019-47, but this variance is for table, for section 15.03A, table 15.03-1 to allow for an accessory building to be 1,350 square feet and in lieu of the maximum 1,024 square feet permitted. Heather, please call a vote.
Ms. Gerald?
Yes.
Mr. Rowe?
No.
Mr. Golding?
Yes.
Mr. Hamilton?
No.
And Mr. Valente?
No. The second variance has been denied. Okay, sorry. Next, we move on to,
Can I say something?
no, we're close to the public. We're moving on to
You can't give somebody
variance.
3 foot of property.
Excuse me.
But you could have flooding coming down for years because you get zoning where that area is way there and caused all that flooding and everybody got flooded out. I'd like to know who passed that zoning.
Sir.
That was more than 3 foot.
Sir,
Done.
okay, thank you. Next is variance number 2019-48. Mr. Bradley Key of Gem Construction LLC on behalf of Jason and Samantha Eastman is requesting a variance from section 15.04B, table 15.04-1 to allow for the construction of a single-family dwelling with a front building setback of 49 feet in lieu of the maximum 50 feet required for the property located at 9848 Weathersfield Drive. Please come up and state your case.
Good evening, my name is David Novak. My address is 9114 Tyler Boulevard, and yes, I have been sworn in.
Thank you.
As depicted in the variance request, this is a new house being built on, I'm going to call it a semi-cul-de-sac, because if you're familiar with the area,
Yeah.
you come down Weathersfield, there's a bubble there, and then the road takes a turn to the left, and then there's another cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
So most of the houses in this neighborhood are on cul-de-sacs. So it's not like you have a straight line where you see all the houses in a straight row. This variance, again, is really very minor. If you look at the drawing, the left side of the garage is probably about a foot and a half behind the setback line. The right side of the garage at the far side is a foot over. So, oh, I'm sorry, the left side is 8 feet back. And again, it amounts to 10 square feet. It's a triangular wedge, you know, because you have the cul-de-sac there. The setback is radial off the center of the cul-de-sac. I do have some pictures if you want to see them.
I visited the site, and reviewed the drawings, so I certainly appreciate the kind of minimal and
Yeah, it is so small.
If you would just bend it,
It'd be nice if we could bend the wall
Yeah.
or the wall of the garage, but if you drove by it, you can see it is the house is well under construction. You know, the foundation is in, all the wood walls are up, the roof is on. So at this point, it would be extremely difficult to make a change to the house.
well understood.
For sure, but at what point did this become apparent?
Well, on, I believe that piece of paper that you're holding there is, I believe it was on July 22nd. Part of the process that goes through when you have somebody who's building a house and they're taking out a construction loan, generally there's the first time when the piece of property is vacant, a picture is taken to make sure that there's no encroachments and so forth onto the property. The second time is and this is Josh Edgel from Gem Construction. When they go to take their first draw or their second draw, the bank goes out and sends out a surveyor to verify the location of the home because of situations like this could potentially cloud the title. So when they sent out the surveying company that did the mortgage location survey, they determined that that was a problem. So that was only discovered on July 22nd.
Thank you.
So somebody screwed up.
Yes. Just a little bit. That's correct.
Any other questions? No. All right, thank you, gentlemen. Is there anyone that is speaking for or against this appeal that would like to come up? Okay, if there's no further questions, a public hearing for variance number 2019-48 is now closed to the public. I will entertain a motion to appeal variance number 2019-48.
So moved.
Second?
Second. Any discussion from the board?
No.
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 Okay.
Then
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, been there, done that.
Yeah. Okay.
Not often,
Measure
but-
twice.
What's that?
Measure twice.
Measure twice, all right. Heather, please call vote for variance appeal number 2019-48. The yes vote will approve, a no vote denies it.
Mr. Hamilton?
Yes.
Mr. Valente?
Yes.
Ms. Gerald?
Yes.
Mr. Rowe?
Yes.
And Mr. Bowman?
Yes.
Approved.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Next on the agenda is appeal number 2019-49. Mr. Dan Music is requesting a variance from section 29.10D1 and section 29.10D2 to allow the parking of a commercial motor vehicle in excess of the maximum gross vehicle weight of 10,000 and to allow parking of 3 commercial motor vehicles in lieu of the maximum 2 permitted for the property located at 12400 Painesville Warren Road. Good evening.
Good evening. Well, thanks for hearing us. My name is Dan Music. I live at 12400 Painesville Warren Road, and I was sworn in. This is my wife Doris.
I also live there, and I was also sworn in.
All right, thank you.
Go ahead.
Well, since I do all the paperwork, we've lived at this property for 28 years. We have 3.5 acres. In 2000, we bought a dump truck that's GVW's 2400. In 1999, we bought a pickup truck that has a GVW of 10,500. And in 2011, we bought the third vehicle that they're more collector's items. He does use them at times for commercial purposes. It's not a daily basis. We have buildings that they are stored in. We live, you can see on the map, we live in the middle of the woods. Even when Heather and Marty came to visit, they looked around and said, you cannot even see the back of our property. Nobody even knew we were back there. The vehicles are used as needed, not daily, like I said. He 10 times, maybe 1,500 thinking today. Major Waste comes 52 times a year to pick up our garbage. I don't even think these 3 vehicles go in and off the property total together 52 times in a year. They are kept because they're old. They're 99, they're in mint condition. There's a 99, a 97, and a 1984. They're in mint condition. They're kept in buildings to preserve them. And yes, occasionally, for commercial purposes, he does use them for his construction. But other than that, they're just parked at the property. We weren't really aware that the zoning issue, I think the last time, I think it changed in 11. We weren't really aware. I do not read the zoning thing, so we didn't really know until, what, a month or so ago, 2 months ago, that we were out of compliance.
How did you find that out?
Well, we had a visit from Heather and from Marty to see if we were conducting business on our property, which we don't. He stores his trucks there, and
It's my toolbox.
it's his toolbox. So we don't have a commercial property somewhere that we store stuff. We had it on our property. One of the reasons we bought there, one of the reasons we construct. And like I said, we've been doing business since '97. I mean, it's been a long time. It's just the vehicles are there. So we were brought to our attention that we were out of compliance, and we're good tax paying, good Concord residents for, like I said, 28 years. We just want to be legit. We want to follow your rules. We want to be good citizens of Concord. So that's why we're asking for the variance, to just allow us to continue to do what we've been doing at this property since the earliest was 1999.
So where's the business actually located then if it's not at the property?
Well, it's
I'm
him.
a contractor. I'm a general contractor. I'm self-employed.
Okay.
My business, it's my toolbox is what we're talking about, my property. I bring my vehicles home.
Right.
They get me to and from work. I don't Uber. I take the trucks.
He doesn't have customers do not come to the property.
Nor do I have employees.
We do not have
At the property.
employees. So everything is just, it's literally storage. I mean, he will, you know,
And
they
if
don't
I have
even
to
come.
work on something, I hate doing that, but if I have to, it's in a barn, and I'm keeping the vehicle safe.
And in good shape. That's
And
one
doing
thing.
maintenance on them, you know, it doesn't look like Sanford and Son. I mean, that International, Heather has a picture of that, it's gotta get
Yeah, we
some
got it.
paint work done.
Right.
I know she's not a beaut, but
It's a 35-year-old vehicle.
for
We
being
take,
35 years old, the frame's real clean and it's a very safe vehicle.
I noticed somewhere in the write-up that you pointed out that in the winter, they're in the barn or the garage or
Correct.
something.
yeah.
Is it difficult to have them in there,
No.
or why you said winter?
Well, we actually,
Sometimes they're outside, sometimes they're inside. Mostly for the winter, they're inside. Sometimes if I'm building something or
Right,
if
if
I
it
have
needs
a
a space.
project, like I built my kitchen from scratch. And so I needed a little bit more room, so I pulled some stuff out. But still, it was not impactful to any neighbor because you
Yeah,
could not see
okay.
my vehicles unless you're on my woods and my property.
right, I don't even insure
Or
the
looking with
trucks.
binoculars.
Right.
Okay, I was just
Yeah.
curious.
No, I understand.
You can't see my house pretty much
Oh, I
from
know,
the road.
I was out there this afternoon, just
Okay.
to drive around, just to get a feel, as I say, it certainly,
It's 3.5 acres back there, and we try to keep it
Okay.
neat
And tidy. He even built me a chicken coop to match the house. We want it to look nice. We want our neighbors to not have an eyesore, although, like I said, you can't really see our property. So with strategically placed privacy mounds and things like that, you
And I'm
really
getting ready
cannot
to
see.
build another one on my other side.
The privacy
We
mount,
talked
yeah.
about that, a planting with some concrete that's
Yeah.
gonna be used
So I mean, we want to
as
be
stone,
good neighbors,
wall
you know,
stone.
we just want to be in compliance with the county or with the township, I should say.
so if you're not doing a project and so forth, the vehicles could be
And they are.
under roof.
They are? Yes,
Yeah, they
they
are. I don't even put insurance on them 8 to 7, 8, depends on the season. Like this year, we didn't really, with all the rain, our season didn't start till into
We use
July.
them pretty much 4
So-
months out of the year, the
Right.
dump trucks.
Right, so the rest of it, I take
I
the
will-
insurance off to save money on
And
it,
I
so.
wanna keep the UV off of them, that's what's the killer, and you keep it off the tires and.
Yeah,
So
that's,
this is your daily driver, this is your toolbox truck right here,
right.
more or less, and then the other two, the
Never met a
one
trailer
ton
with
dump
anything.
and the.
Yeah,
oh,
the
these-
big dump literally is just like, he uses that 5 to 10 times a year.
When I
and
have
so
to go
it's-
to Keeney Quarry and get
Right.
some stone or something for a drive or something,
Takes it to grocery.
it saves me, it saves me trips.
It's a month.
Or onion rings, I
Right.
ate a lot of onion rings.
But, yeah, so we're just, yeah, it is, we don't wanna look at an eyesore either, so they're nice, everything's
Okay.
neat, he's
No,
very meticulous about it, all the buildings match, so everything is got its place, so. It's just, we wanna have, we didn't know we didn't have permission to park 3 vehicles, and that the GVWs had to be under 10,000. And I was shocked to find out, and I actually had to do research, and that there's some parts that say the 2 Dodges are 10,000, and some say 10,500, but I wanna be legit. I don't wanna bend rules, I don't wanna be in a gray area, I want to know if I can park these trucks. Well, everything I found online said was 10,500, which is in fact over your speculation, so, you know, yeah, and the big dump, like I said, has its own little parking spot, gets tucked away, so. Okay.
Any other questions?
So,
You-
no.
These aren't DOT registered at all? I mean,
No,
they're,
sir, they're the big dump trucks under CDL.
right.
Yeah, they're not,
So it's 22.5, the big dump?
20,
24.
24, okay, it has to be 26.5, I think, for CDL.
26, I think you have to be under.
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't have air brakes, it's not a.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it's not
Just
one of those
Is
big.
it gas?
No, it's diesel. It's a DT 366. It was built during the reason I love this truck, it was built during the energy crisis, and it has what they call the fuel zipper motor. It's very efficient. It's not very powerful. I mean, that's what you got the low range for.
Right.
And some of the hills make you a preacher by the time you get up them. But you can drive that all day long and still be over half a tank. That's impressive for that vehicle. I mean, so it is actually environmental, even though it doesn't have the DEF fluid. It does not
Right.
take much to run that. So it's a fantastic truck.
So that one you use rarely when you need to go get the big rock or
Yeah.
something large.
Or some trees. I heat my house. I heat with wood.
Okay.
Some lumber. So it's personal.
Did-
10 times maybe. a
This
year.
one is, you drive this how often? This is your daily driver? You drive this every day?
Daily driver drove it today.
And then this one is when you gotta haul something, okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
So
I
you
held
do
it-
have, so you
that
have,
one I used the other day. I held the bathtub with it.
okay. But you're only allowed to have, what's the variance for? You're allowed to have 2 vehicles and you have 3,
Right.
and it's a 10,000, so they're over 10,000, so that's what's bumping it.
That's what.
Well, that third vehicle's not on my property at the moment.
Right.
Heather, I promised you that I wouldn't bring it. and I
Right,
haven't.
it's, our
That's in
daughter lives
Leroy
in
Township.
Leroy, so.
Until I get this straightened out. She lives up the street. It's kind of blocking her driveway. And it's silly that it's, I think, my opinion, it's silly that it's out in the weather where it should be inside in my shop.
I saw that you printed off a bunch of gross vehicle weight ratings for that truck, but what does it say on the federal ID sticker on the door? Because that's the one that matters.
It's the 24.
No, on the little truck, the tool truck.
Oh, the
You
tool truck.
can't read that.
You can't
That's
read it?
that's what the problem
That's
was.
what
That
the
truck's
problem-
been painted a bunch of
Yeah.
times. It's been taken care of.
Right.
We're in the
The
Midwest,
little
and,
plate
Right.
was.
and there's no
Okay.
rust on these vehicles. It's because
Right.
they are
Right.
maintained and painted. And I wish you could read it, or I'd invite you over to look at it. But that was, Marty actually looked at my one vehicle. We tried to find it right here in the parking lot. We couldn't, and that's when my boss looked it up in the on the internet and came up with it.
I mean, yeah.
10.5. I actually thought, I was under the impression that GB on those 2 vehicles were
10,
10,000.
right. Because we were only gonna ask for the variance for the one truck until I did the research and saw, okay, all I can find is 10.5. And like I said, we wanna be legitimate, we wanna, be honest with you all, don't wanna hide anything or sneak anything by.
Right.
We just,
This has been a change though in 11, and I was wondering if there was any grandfather provision. I've owned these forever. I haven't changed anything that I've been doing.
What's
I'm a
the
very
year?
boring guy.
What's the year on the trucks?
The
two
one's a 99, the one that I drive the most. The dump truck is in 98 or 97.
it's a 97, but we bought it in 2011,
And the other one is a 84.
84, and we bought that in 2000.
So I've had them forever. I'm a creature of habit.
I mean, nothing's changed since 2011, and we weren't aware of the variance that changed at that point. I don't know what it was before, but I know I went over it with Bruce. When we first moved in, we wanted to be in compliance, and we got
we were in contact with Bruce a lot, so
Make sure we
everything
were
was
in
okay at
compliance.
that point, and then nothing's changed, so we have to come visit you also.
Any other questions?
Heather, can you confirm that prior to 2011, this would not have been outside of the requirements?
The current parking regulations as far as commercial motor vehicles, I believe were adopted in April of 2011. But I don't know prior to that if we had any regulations on the books, but in fact, yeah, we did not adopt any regulations till April 2011.
There's people, I don't want to go pointing fingers, and I'm not going to be that guy, but there's much bigger trucks, much more axles, bigger equipment, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to go around pointing, and right in eyesight of my stuff, you know, from the road, and my stuff you can't even see.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, unfortunately, that doesn't matter, but here to talk about this.
I understand that, but it should in a way when we talk about impacting other people's property values, and I can't see how it would.
Right.
Okay. You guys good?
Yep.
Okay, you can be seated.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else here this evening that's speaking for or against this appeal?
Hi, my name is Danielle Meger. I live at 12350 Painesville Warren Road, and I have been sworn in.
Thank you.
So I don't have a problem with the vehicles being parked there. The problem I have is that from what I see, what I witness, I mean, we share a back property line. I'm not immediate neighbors to Dan, but I constantly hear the diesel truck going in and out. I've seen excavators being pulled with the diesel truck. I've seen, I believe, a Bobcat. So two different types of heavy equipment being pulled with the diesel truck. I've seen the dump truck go in and out. On one day, I saw it go in and out. I saw it 3 times in one day. And that was a period of time where I was at home because I wasn't working during that period of time. So during that period of time, I saw a lot of the vehicles going in and out of the driveway. He's mentioned that there's been customers. I know he mentioned there weren't customers, but we know that there has been customers on his property that do come into his driveway as well. So my biggest concern is that, you know, it's a noise disturbance to us. You shouldn't be having those vehicles on that property for the zoning department, and also that it does decrease the value of our home because you have that noise disturbance. Yes, you can't see the vehicles. He is tucked back, and I don't mind if he keeps those there and uses them a few times a year, but that's not the case. It's constant in and out of the driveway, and it is a noise disturbance.
Okay, and just so it's clear for the board, I got this map here real quick.
Yeah.
Are you adjacent property owner, or would you be?
The next one is over, so yeah, on that property.
Right there?
Yeah.
Okay, that's where she's at?
Where?
Okay.
2 doors down?
Okay.
I have a question, I'd like to speak.
No, you,
I don't bring customers on my property.
Sir, you gotta wait for your turn. We're all taking turns, and it's her turn now, okay?
Excellent.
Thank you. Okay, I'm sorry. Do you guys got questions?
No?
No?
I don't think so, no.
And then also when you look on Google Maps, I know it's tied, his house is tied to the business as well, which that doesn't mean he's operating a business, but it does seem funny that that's where his business is located, is at his home address. If he was storing all these equipment and stone and other things in other places, they should be somewhere else. And I believe when the zoning department came out, they did find a big pile of stones there and something like a big tractor thing to cut grass with, and I believe something else as well. So there are some things to prove that he is running a business out of his home. Yeah. So I don't care if he has those vehicles there. I can't see them, but when I'm constantly hearing the trucks go in and out and seeing them go in and out, that's what I have a problem with, and I don't think it's right.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Yes, my name is Shirley Regals, and I live at 12425 Huntoon Road. This is Mary Ann Holmes. She lives there as well.
You've both been sworn in this evening?
Yes, we
Thank you.
have. And we've lived there for 26 years. And we've had dealings with Dan. He's done a lot of work for us. And I know for a fact that he does not have customers come to his house. If they do, it's to discuss something, just like you would have a friend come over and talk about things. He does not conduct any business in his house. He is one of the most legitimate guys I know. I've had many, many dealings with him, both for him doing work for us, and he's by the book. He's an honest John. And as far as trucks going in and out 2 or 3 times a day, where have we come that cars or trucks going up and down your own driveway is an issue? I mean, really, where have we come? During daylight hours, not in the middle of the night, not when people are sleeping. I have a concern about that. And Dan is very respectful, and if he's asked to do something, he'll do it. He's much better than I am. I'll be honest with you. I'm serious. He is a very honest man. He makes things right if they aren't right. And to say something about somebody using a driveway, the fact that his driveway is as big as ours, we're directly behind him, and our driveway is 275 feet. So we come in and out of our driveway. Yes, it's going to make a lot more noise than it is for a 50-foot driveway. So, I mean, okay, that's all I'm going to say. That's
Well, the
it.
one thing I wanted to add is we're retired and have been for almost 15 years now. We're home all the time, outside often because of our pets and stuff. The only time you ever hear the car is when they leave, maybe 9:30, 9 o'clock, and they come home at 5:30. That's it.
And
there is no other traffic noise. We're right there.
We're
We
there.
share our backyard.
We're there 7 days a week. 7 days a week.
And
there's
still,
no-
their house is surrounded by trees.
Right, and we're in
You
the
don't
woods.
see no trucks.
We're in the woods as well, and you can't see our house, and you can't see Dan's house. And to say you hear that, you'd have to physically.
Well, what about the vehicles that are going up and down 86, which is up the front of their house? And there are huge trucks going up and down there.
And you
If
hear-
you're gonna protest these, protest these.
You hear that all the time. I can hear the freeway all
Yeah,
the time from our
freeway
house.
all the time.
So to say that they're driving trucks up and down 3 and 4 times a day, that's
That's not
barring any other cars running down the street. So,
Okay.
okay?
All right,
Thank you.
Dan, you want to come back up? Did you have something you wanted to?
Thank you. We can talk about a secondary dispute, but I'm not going to do that here, but we will soon enough. What I'd like to talk about is I have deliveries at my house, personal deliveries. There is the FedEx truck. We have orders. Everybody shops online nowadays. Those trucks are bigger than my trucks. A lot of those are heavier GVW. The garbage truck that comes makes more noise and is heavier. Any of us that live in Concord Township that has a gravel driveway will also have, or if they're doing a project, will also have a big, heavy triaxle or a quad or a quint come in and drop us gravel, which that's a normal thing. We live in the country. The only possibility for her to see what's going on in my driveway is if they're filming. And they've been filming us. They took pictures of my daughter, took pictures of friends coming up and down. You actively have to stand on the end of her driveway and crane and film. I've seen footprints in my woods that they're like spying on us. There's no way to see my driveway down there without being totally focused on my house.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
I've never go ahead, hold on.
In 28 years.
I just have one question. I don't know
Hold
how
on.
you would know who our customer is.
What you're trying to say is,
Stop. Let's stick to the issue
Okay.
here.
Yeah.
That has to do
Yeah.
with the zoning, what's required by the zoning, not anything to do with your neighbors.
Right.
Okay.
that's,
I've never had a problem in 28 years. I've been respectful to everybody, to everybody else around, everybody.
Where is your business?
oh, wherever he's
Every
building.
house where I work. Like
I mean, do
today,
you
my
have-
business was in Mentor. I was working in a bathroom. I was changing a bathroom.
So you don't have any other,
I don't have any other commercial building, I have nothing. I have tools, I have my house, I have some barns. That's it. And it would be, for me to go get a shop, that would totally disrupt my way of life. I've been doing this since I've had this way before that ordinance in 11. This big vehicle and there was a problem. This is the first time that I'm here to try to be compliant. That's why I'm here tonight. When I found out there was a problem and gave my money for a variance, and that's why I'm here tonight.
So when you're taking your vehicles out to the job site, you're just storing them there. You're using essentially the job site as your
The
storage.
time that she was complaining that she called a gazillion times in one day, 7 to 9 times, in one day with her boyfriend or husband filming.
Yeah.
This is
Again,
what was the red flag. I understand, but please let me finish. I was hauling in to do a privacy mound because these people are filming us all the time. And we find it an infringement of our privacy. We are in the woods, so I have a plan of making a big privacy mound so I can't. What culminated that day, this guy was across the street filming like this, across 86, us leaving our driveway.
So
This is insane.
okay, let's just focus again on the variance. So you have 3 trucks.
Yes.
You keep them in barns.
Yes.
You use them as tools. You pull them out of the in and out occasionally, right? That's what I hear.
One day there was more traffic, I'm bringing stuff in for a project, and I already
For your
went
own
with Heather.
personal project.
Yes, sir.
So you're not bringing in materials and you're not storing materials.
I'm putting in a privacy mound. Sometimes at the end of the day, when I go to a job, and let's say I had a landscape job, and I have a half a box of topsoil, where am I gonna take that? I bring it back, and I use it at my place for my own personal, when I need it. I mean, that's where, and they're stored in bins. But what's there now is for this privacy mound. I talked to Heather about it quite extensively. It's gonna happen in the fall. I don't wanna do a planting right now. First off, we're very busy, but I don't wanna do a planting right now because now's really not the time. You wanna put trees in the fall, and they do much better.
Okay.
But this is why we're really here tonight. This is why I had to give $300. This is why I've been losing work, and on and on and on. I can explain it, but it's going to court, and we will talk before a judge about it. Because I've had enough. I've absolutely had enough. And my attorneys will take care of it. They'll do the talking for me in court. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Is there anyone else that's speaking for or against this appeal? Yeah, we're still open.
Yeah, so obviously we have other issues going on. My name is Danielle Megger, do I have the station address too?
Yeah,
Okay,
just for the
Danielle
record.
Megger, 12350 Painesville, Warren Road, I have been sworn in.
Yeah.
It just seems questionable to say he doesn't operate out of his home when he's saying he doesn't have another place where he stores his equipment or materials. I've seen his truck go in and out multiple times. The reason why my boyfriend did videotape him across the street was because when we did call the zoning department, they said we can't stand at the end of the driveway and videotape him coming in and out to prove that he is doing that. So that is why my boyfriend did that. We're not spying on him or anything of that
Okay,
nature. So-
but we're just here to, I think we just focus on the vehicles and what is allowed and not allowed. And what we're discussing today is, you know, we have to decide if we're gonna let them have 3 vehicles over 10,000 pounds or not, maximum gross weight.
Okay.
Okay?
That makes sense. So it has nothing to do with the operating the business as a separate issue. Okay.
We're just focused on the vehicles. That's all we can discuss and approve or not approve this evening.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. If there's no further questions, the public hearing for variance number 2019-49 is now closed to the public. I will entertain a motion to approve 2019-49.
So move.
Second?
second?
All right. Open for discussion to the board. buys one.
There are 3 vehicles, yes. Seemingly, there's one driver.
Yeah.
As I say, I don't know. We were told that these vehicles can be undercover. I mean, besides being in the woods, all the woods lose their leaves. I mean, I don't know. I just the quandary I'm going through is
Yeah, well, I mean, I also look at that the 2 of the vehicles are, I don't know, I guess it's a little gray. I guess they are over 10,000,
yeah, well, yeah.
but a hair.
Yeah. But
Sure, without calling the dealer or decoding the VIN, 10,000, 10,500. He's got the barn where the 2 dumpers snooze in, and then the tool driver, when you do have to go to a job, you take the one with the white cap on it. That's my understanding?
Yes, sir.
So that one, that's diesel too?
They're all diesel. If they were gas, I couldn't afford to drive them. They're
Well, yeah.
diesel 'cause
Well,
they get really good mileage.
okay.
They'll be a little louder.
Not bad. They're all got mufflers and everything. You can.
We can't talk about it.
We're not talking about noise, we're not talking about.
Yeah, we're talking about it,
Sorry
we're gonna
about
allow
that,
them to have
They're
3
not straight
vehicles.
pipes, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, you
They're
know,
mufflers. They're
we
Dan
want-
Avenue.
okay.
We're good.
I think it matters how we got here, that prior to 2011,
Yeah,
this probably was not even an issue. And only because of the change in the zoning is why we're here. And we have had many other cases, not that they have any bearing on this, that does offer some consideration in the decision making.
okay. You got anything to add, Chris?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna call for a vote on the approval of variance number 2019-49. A yes vote approves it, a no vote denies it. Heather, please call the vote.
Mr. Goling?
Yes.
Mr. Rowe?
Yes.
Ms. Gerald?
Yes.
Mr. Hamilton?
Yes.
And Mr. BZAMtg?
Yes. Your variance has been approved. Okay, so next on our agenda is approval of minutes from July 10th, 2019. Call for a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
You guys, get someone second it? Chris?
Second?
Any, you guys
Abstaining.
abstaining?
Yeah.
And is there any additions, deletions, or changes to the minutes?
None.
So all in favor of approving the minutes from July 10th, 2019 as written, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The minutes have been approved. Our next meeting will be on September 11th, 2019. The Concord Township Board, Zoning Appeal Board meeting for August is now closed.